Hi everyone, we are at the end of a unit, lesson 4 on equations and inequality. So before we start for our big test, I want to give you a review, and let's break the review into two parts. So today I'm gonna do only part 1, so let's go along. So we have this question number 1: solve each equation, then write the equation in the appropriate box. So there's equations here and there's the solutions here, right? So the solutions could be x equals to 4 or x equals to 9 or neither of them. So there are two different ways or more ways than that you could solve this problem. It's either you could substitute the value for each of these equations, or you could just solve the equation. So my suggestion is solve the equation, because if you are going to substitute these values over here to the x, it will take you a while. So solving equation is the better way. All right, so let's start with the first one. So we're gonna take the first one, 7x equals 63. This means that this is 7 times x equals 63. So how are we gonna solve this problem? So we're just gonna do 7x, right, equals 63, and we know that is 7 times x, so it means we could divide both sides by 7. Then we divide both sides by 7, so that could cancel it out. So x will be, we know that 63 divided by 7 is 9. So then we could put the equation, this one over here, so they're gonna be 7x equals 63, because it asks you to write which equation belongs to certain given equations. Let's take number 2. So you want to take this part. This one will be, I'm not gonna write it anymore, I'm just gonna do it here. So it says x divided by 4, so we know that we always have to do the inverse operation, so we're just gonna multiply both sides by 4. So I multiply this by 4 and I multiply this by 4, and then we know that we could cancel this out because that is equivalent to 1. So therefore x equals to what? It is 2.25 times 4. Well, you could do mental math. 2 times 4 is 8, and then we have 25, it's a quarter times 4, that's 1. So 8 plus 1 equals 9. So there's another equation that belongs here. So now you're gonna copy x over 4 equals 2.25. That's all you have to do. It's not that bad. Let's look at the next one. Which one are you gonna do? So this first 2 is done. So let's take this third one. Let's do it here. Here we go. So we copy this problem and you solve it here on the side, so we just have no space. So this x minus 2 and 1/4 equals 3 and 1/8. So we know we do the inverse operation. Since this is minus 2 and 1/4, we have to do the opposite. We have to do plus 2 and 1/4, and it should be both sides of equation. So plus 2 and 1/4. So obviously we know that we could cancel it out. So they're gonna be x equals to 3 and 1/8 plus 2 and 1/4. We could just simply do like this. So 3 and 2, that gives you 5. So now we have 1/8 and 1/4. So how are you gonna do this? So we will still have to find the common denominator between 8 and 4, because you're gonna add them without making the denominators the same. So now we have 1/8 and 1/4. Well, let's do it here. We have 1/8 and we have 1/4. We need to make the denominators the same by the least common denominator, which is 8. So if I gonna change this to 8, right, it means this gonna be 2. So now we could do 1/8 plus 2/8, right, equals 3/8. So since we're looking for the solutions that has 4 or 9 or neither, but this is 5 and 3/8, so obviously this x minus 2 and 4 and 3 and 3 belongs to the neither of them. So let's copy it down here. So there we go, we copy it here. We have 2 more equations to see if what is their solution. This one and this. But let's clear our board first for a second, okay? All right, so our board is clear. You could just rewind this video if you want to go back on how it was done, right? So let's work on this equation. So now we have this equation and I rewrote it here. So still I want you to show work. So you have to do 3 and 5/6 to both sides because that is an addition equation, and minus 3 and 5/6. This one is easy, right? Because the denominators are the same, so we don't even have a problem finding the common denominator. So now we have 7 and 5/6 minus 3 and 5/6. So our answer is 4. So this equation belongs here. Let's write it down. So we still have one last equation we need to prove on. So this is x minus 1 and 0.08 equals 2.92. So we'll copy it here and then we'll solve. All right, so this is our last equation, and we know that this is a subtraction equation, and to solve is to do the opposite, which is minus 1.08. So it means we have to add both sides 1.08. Okay, so with that said, we could cancel this out. So x gonna be, if you look over here, that is 0, that becomes 0, and that becomes 4. So it means this equation belongs to the number 4. So we'll write it down. Okay, so there you go. So I really want you to show work using inverse operation for question number 1 to get full credit. Let's do question number 2. All right, so to use the weight machine at the health club, you must be at least 12 years old. Brandon writes the inequality A is greater than 12. Where A represents the age in years. To represent this, is Brandon correct in why? So we know that the word is at least. You have the word at least. It means it should be that age and more. So if this is what Brandon wrote, so that was almost correct, but missing something, because if he just say A should be greater than 12, so 12 should not be accepted. But here it means that 12 is accepted. So the correct answer should be A greater or equal to 12, because 12 will be accepted for this scenario. So you could explain it in a way that you understand, as long as it means that 12 should be accepted as the age requirement. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, for next question, which graph represents the solution of inequality m should be less than 4? Remember in our problem in the beginning, we said when it is the dot is open, the symbol should be like this, and if the dot is closed, the symbol will be like this. Sorry, symbol is fine. It means that that number is not included to the answer, and if it's closed, it means that number, let's say for example 4, will be included as a possible solution. So the easy way to look at this is that arrow tells you to go this way. So the only possibility we have is B and D. So it's only B or D. But which one is really correct? Because it says that if it is open, it means 4 is not a possible solution. So it's open. And if it's closed, 4 is possible solution. But it says here, m should be less than 4. So our correct answer will be this one. Okay? But that is less, and it should not be 5. Right? And this is greater than 4. Okay? All right, so our answer is B. This is not the one. All right, next question. So for question number 5, we just have to see if Alexis wrote the equation correctly, or she made a correct statement for both sides. We know that equal sign means both sides should be the same. So Alexis wrote 28 minus 8 equals 20. If you have to double check, that is 20, and that's 20, so this is correct. But then she wrote 28 minus 8 plus q equals 20 minus q. Are the equations balanced? Yes or no? So your answer should be So your answer should be no, right? Because if you added Q here, you should have added Q on the other side to make that symbol true at all times. So whatever you do on the left side of the equation, you had to do it on the right side of the equation to keep your statement equal correct, right? So if you take away another side, you have to take away another side. That's all. So to keep your statement correct and to keep it balanced. All right, so we are on the last question. The middle school drama club is planning a picnic. The cost of food for each person attending the picnic is $6.50. So the club wants to stay below their budget of $150 for food for the picnic. Again, to stay below their budget. Write an equality to represent the number of people P who can attend the picnic if the club stays under its food budget. Under, it means it should be less than. So what will be our inequality that represents this scenario? Right, so let's analyze. So $6.50 per person, right? So the cost of picnic, each person is $6.50. We could write that as $6.50 per person, and that should be less than the budget, which is $150. Okay, and if you want to rewrite this in the other way around, so you could, so 150 should be greater than 650.5. So we did 650 times P for the number of people, and whatever the budget that you have here, it should be less than this, because it says here it should stay below the amount of 150. So the 150 is the most that we could get. Okay, it's not equal to or less than 150, but it should be less than 150. All right, so I want you to review these 6 questions, and then when we come back tomorrow, we're gonna review again for another set of 6, and then we're gonna have a test on the following day. Okay, good luck. All right, I really want you to study. This is already for our 3rd marking period. Our report card, they're going to reflect in you. So study makes you smarter. Study makes us everybody smarter. Like everybody else, that practice makes perfect. So this is what we do. All right? All right. So good luck. And until tomorrow, until next lesson, until next review, enjoy your day. And God bless everybody. I'll see you back.